explores the art of thinking beyond the obvious. So today I have my special guest. She's the author of the book and she's a debut author and the author of the book Step into Your Miracle. Transform trauma into triumph. No other than Miss Shannon Michelle.
Hello.
Well, welcome, Miss Shannon, an abstract essay. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I missed?
I would love to. Yes, my name is Shannon Michelle. I'm a brand new author of an amazing book called Step into Your Miracle. And I'm in this moment teaching myself and hopefully helping others through trauma is my goal. And that's what my book is about. And I would love to share anything about it that you think would be, in line with what we're talking about today.
Miss Shannon Michelle, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. And today, let's talk about your writing process of your debut memoir. What
Mhm.
was the personal moment or story that first inspired you to write Step into Your Miracle?
Oof, that's such a good question. I had one of those moments where I woke up and I felt like the universe, spiritual, you can say all kinds of words around it, were screaming at me, finish your book, finish your book. And whatever version of that you understand or that you um, have faith in, or thoughts of the brain, however it comes to you. But I was spoken through into to finish my book, and I started laughing because I have never written a book. I've never written, pretty much, I mean, ran my own company for many years, so I understood business, but the idea that I would go down this path was a shock to me, and also post a very traumatic brain injury, which I talk about as well. Is I was um, literally broken into so many pieces, including my brain, that I had to learn how to do everything again. I had to learn what a computer was, how to write, how to read. I mean, everything was deleted from my brain trauma. And I had to baby step back into finding myself and learning and teaching myself to do things that were very simple for me in my lifetime. And that's how this came about.
Yes, and congratulations for empowering us.
Thank
Your journey is something else. How did your own experiences with trauma shape the message and tone of the book?
It started with me having such limited short-term memory that I started speaking into my phone to try to remember what worked and what didn't, what hurt, what to do. And that's how the whole process started, was so that I could remember what I was doing. I could remember what I had done. I could remember how to recover from my brain and my body trauma. And that was just learning how to repeat and track things from a brain trauma, in which, again, it's hard to understand when you've never been through one. It's just, it's mind blowing that everything can be deleted from your brain, but it's all, as my neurologist said over and over again, it's all still in there. Just keep creating the channels to get it back. And that's, that was the goal, and that's, again, where it all came from.
That's the goal for sure. And what was the very first step you took once you decided to write this book as the beginning of your journey?
I would say the first step was not feeling crazy and realizing that this was a part of my new chapter in my life. And I called my best friend and I started laughing with her on the phone, saying, what, huh, how? And then and she's a major producer, so she is in the film industry and the television industry, and she's like, yes, Shannon, you can do this. Baby step in and say what you want to say. And that was like the first step to understanding that I could get there, understanding that I had something to share. Yeah. And that was, again, one of my best friends was my first step. And speaking into my phone, because I didn't even know my wrists were broken. So, and I was a right-handed person and I could only use my left at that point. So I had to speak everything into my phone, which again, I'm very grateful for that. I was able to have a device that I could use to record my memories, my pluses, my minuses, so I could look back in and listen again and again, and then remember, oh yeah, that's it. And then again, that's how, we all baby step through life. How do we get through any trauma? Like, how do we accept the good and the bad? That's a lot of it, is that you have both sides. You have a lot every day that you want to get through or get over or succeed in, and you can.
Mm. How did you handle the emotional challenge of revisiting difficult memories while writing it?
I think for me, it helped me remember everything I'd been through. And that was a good thing, because when you have a brain trauma and you can't remember much, especially something so severe as my motorcycle accident and my brain break and my body break, that that was a part of me trying to remember who I was. And that, it, even though it was very messy and very difficult, that I kept waking up each morning saying, it's going to be okay, you're going to try a little harder. And going through the re-listening to some of the stuff that I spoke into my phone was overwhelming. um, it brought a lot of pain, physically and mentally, but it also allowed me to be able to remember how broken I was and how far I had come. So again, within the difficulty of hearing it, it brought me hope that I had already, if I've already been able to, I learned to walk again, I can do this next step. And again, it's been baby steps, baby steps, baby steps.
Baby steps, for sure. So, Miss Shannon, were there moments you hesitated to share certain stories, and what convinced you to include them?
I thankfully didn't hesitate to share my chaos. I think we learn in life to do things a certain way. And with my brain being broken and relearning everything, I wasn't fearful. I wasn't ashamed. I was an open book. Literally, I was relearning my whole existence. And I, I thankfully just didn't worry about how it looked, just how it felt. And in brain and body recovery, if you can focus on the present moment and not worry about how it felt yesterday or how it's going to feel tomorrow, but how it feels today, and just focusing on that, is the strength in which I think I was able to recover in the way that they've never thought I'd come back. So,
So let's talk about the writing process and routine, Miss Shannon. What
okay.
did your writing routine look like? Structured daily session or more spontaneous bursts?
I would say, yeah, I would say spontaneous. I would say, because I mostly spoke my book into my phone, not physically on a computer or writing with your hand. That was my way of sharing my story. Now everybody has their own way of expressing themselves, and I think it's you finding your own way that feels comfortable in that. And so for me, I would daily speak into my phone. Um, and again, I've spoken to my phone out of format of trying to remember. And I know a lot of people probably don't have the limited short-term memory issue that I have. But I'd say with all of my recovery, I would say it's the same thing. Like, do it every day, stay present, let each day and each moment speak to you. And if it's making a ritual of every morning or every evening doing something, then that's who you should be. But listen to yourself, listen to your heart, and let that lead you. And the best way to express yourself, I guess, is maybe the way I'm trying to express myself right now.
Definitely. Did you face writer's block? And if so, what strategies help you overcome it?
um, the only thing in a way, yes, because I felt with my brain trauma that I wasn't going to be capable. But again, I just kept staying present and not, I was living each moment of each day without, it would be painful, but I tried to stay out of a fear journey. I tried to make decisions from a place of of positive joy. And if it doesn't feel right, that's okay too. But I didn't get blocked in any of that way. And I also was so confident that I wanted to share my story because I had so much to give and help others with because of my recovery. So I didn't have very many roadblocks. And you shouldn't either. I mean, whomever is listening and is on a path to share themselves and their story in whatever format it is, that's important. Stay present with what speaks to you, what's a good day for you, what's a good time for you, and make that your journey.
How long did it take from your initial draft to the finished manuscript?
It took about a year and a half. It 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 was, again, I was so focused on that as a priority in my recovery that I could remember where I'd come from and how I could get better, that I think I focused so much on it for my own health and safety in my recovery that it it went fairly quickly. I think. I don't know what it's like for others, but for me it went pretty quickly.
Mm, definitely. Crafting, crafting the message. Which part of the book followed naturally or flowed naturally, and which required the most effort to put into words?
Ooh. I think the hardest, most difficult moments was when I went back and I was looking through my journal of, and I wouldn't call it a written journal, but I would my speaking into my phone again, and just kind of again kind of goes back to a question you asked a few minutes ago. It's just like going back to re-see a painful existence. Sometimes it's difficult. And I don't know if that's in line with what you're asking. So ask again. Sorry.
Which parts of the book flowed naturally, and which required the most effort to put into words?
Yeah. Okay. So again, back to the journal, because I think for me, speaking so honestly about my pain and sorrow through my recovery, um, my journal was where that flow came from. It was, again, how I could express and move on. And that was, again, part of my journey for my book.
Journey for sure. So, Miss Shannon, let's talk about the crafting the message. How do you balance your personal story with practical lessons for readers?
I give a little, to me, daily ritual that I have come up with that I think, at least for me, works well. And it's, like there's quite a few, but the top three that come to mind on a daily basis is to stay present. Um, because if you can stay present, then you cannot focus on the befores and the afters of your life. You can just stay present with what you're trying to do at that moment. What are you trying to gain? What are you trying to achieve? What are you trying to learn? Stay present with that. The number two is basically to take action, and that's what I do as well, is take action. But it's okay to pause and take action, then take action, because the third thing is to like let things speak to you when you engage in a conversation, when you take a walk down the street, when you have an insight about a new idea, a new character, a new way to walk your life, then listen to that. And I'd say that that's those there are a lot of those steps within how I share how I got better, that I hope speak to other people about how to be able to step out of their trauma and whatever trauma they might be. Also, on top of everything I just talked about, which sometimes I forget, and it's not something worthy of forgetting, but I do forget, is I also, post my motorcycle accident, had a very, very severe call, that I have breast cancer, and I had to go through all of the steps outside of the brain and body breakage. I had to go back and take care of my body and cancer, and that's in my book as well. And I think it's, again, it's sharing the parts of you that can help others is my goal. And I think people can do that in so many ways. I think they can do it with their own personal story. I think they can do it with the creative story that they want to share. You know, there's always ways to do that.
Always to do that for sure. And Miss Shannon, did you set out to write with a specific audience in mind, or did the audience become a clearer as the manuscript developed?
I think it became clearer as the manuscript developed. I think it showed itself as you think each thought and write each word. It kind of, again, directs you in the direction of how you can achieve something, so yeah, that would be my answer to that one.
So, Miss Michelle, as a debut author, what are your short-term and long-term goals?
My short-term goals are, I have a few speaking engagements to share my book, and they are starting to do some book signing dates for me. So that's my short term, is to stay focused on how to show up and shine by representing myself and my story. And I'd say my long-term goals are, and this is in the works as well, is speaking engagements within different communities that need help in transferring through trauma. Again, speaking and talking and podcast world, and it's everything's so huge. Like, there's no simple answers to any of that.
Yes, and good luck to your goals, whatever your goals is or are, and looking forward
I
for much
also
success.
I hope I hope also that people could go. I have a website that is beautiful that they created for me, and it tells a lot about some of what we've talked about. So if you could share that as well. It's very simple. It's stepintoyourmiracle.com. And yeah, and that's a place where you can, click a link and buy a book, or just learn about my journey and more about me and what I think has empowered me to share my story.
Definitely. And Good luck for that. And thank
Thank
you
you.
for that advice. Can you
Yes.
please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Mm, that's a great question. Um, I wrote about that and I wrote them down. And see, these are those moments where my short-term memory is so limiting. I
I
have
want.
like a bookshelf in front of me right there. And I'm like, so many books were so much part of my recovery. And when you ask that question, I'm like, what were they? What are the names of them? What the first thing that always comes to mind for me is I love Rumi. Do you know who
Hmm.
Rumi is? Yeah, I'm a big Rumi fan, and I have, a few books and cards and things that has spoken to me greatly. And then there's been some other kind of self-help books, but I'd have to literally go find them. So I'm sorry. But if you look on my website, there's some of them, or in my book, it tells you about some of them in there.
Yes, for sure, for sure. We understand that,
But
Miss
you have a favorite book?
Shannon. Yes, there's a lot. On my first
Yeah.
season, that's my first season. I did all my favorite books
Oh, I'll
that
have to peek.
empowers me.
Yes, I would
Yes.
love. I'll take a look at that. Yeah, great,
Yes,
wonderful.
number one, I think I talk about this psychologist, which is talk about logotherapy.
Uh huh.
Uh, yes,
Yes.
you 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 need to listen to it. The first season of my book 101 review.
I will. I will. I thank you for sharing that with me. I will take a peek. I'll take a peek when we get done.
You take a peek. So, what is the most healing part of writing process for you personally?
For me personally, it's just remembering my life and sharing it. And then the biggest, strongest goal is that I can help others step into their miracles because I was able to find mine and stay present in it, and I still do. And that's my hope is that I can guide people to walk through and find what creative part of themselves they can be to the world.
Yes. Truly empowering memoir, Miss Shannon. And before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too, comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography
Wow.
101 in fourth season, and my baby podcast Law 101 and Mental Health 101. Love Letters in third season, and Movie 101 Review Music 101 in fourth season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its fifth
Wow.
season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Miss Shannon, looking back, what advice would you give to other aspiring authors who want to turn their own trauma into a story of triumph?
Share. Just know that you have a lot to share. Even if you question your story, don't question it. Just share it. It'll be worthy of
Amazed.
other people's learning, you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Miss Shannon Michelle, thank you so much for sharing your memoir to the world. So can you
Thank
please
you.
invite Yes, so can you please invite our listeners to support your debut book?
Yes, please. Oh, please step into your miracle. Please read it, buy it, see it, grow from it.
Yes. Yes, people, let's support Miss Shannon Michelle for her debut book. It's available where books are sold. So, Miss
Everywhere.
Shannon, thank you so much for your time.
Amazon, Barnes and Noble, you name it, it's out there now.
Yes. More to come, people. See you soon.